still in bed, rise up,
Yes,
start fresh. I like that. But, you know, if you went to bed late, it's obvious that you can't really rise up at this time.
No matter what time you went to bed, no matter how you feel when you get out of bed, Wake Up Nigeria is going to give you that boost you need to start the day fresh and new.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be a day full of bright opportunities. It's a new year, so, people still have that new year energy going on. And yeah, so that's going to be happening today.
So now that most of the fog has cleared, not all of it, most of the fog has cleared. The sunshine is going to help brighten your day.
Most of the fog, like the holiday fog.
Yeah, the fog of the mind with too much drinks, food, snacks.
I actually thought you were talking about Harmattan.
Yeah, I was actually, but you said holiday
then
fog.
I made it into a metaphor, Yeah. That's what we're talking about.
Wow, it is your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, and a beautiful morning to you. My name is Tisilayo.
Yeah, my name is Yomi Ope, and we're dressed in blue. We just like to keep it real.
Blue day.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's going to be a great one.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday, so middle of the week.
Flying by.
Middle of the week. It's already, so last week Wednesday was New Year's Day. So you can see that things are not slowing down or stopping.
At all.
And so don't play catch up, like some of us do. But stream with us live though, if you have to be out at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect. If NEPA strikes, you strike back.
Okay, you're coming with a lot of puns this morning.
Yeah.
But it's fine. We have a place where you can send in your comments about all the metaphors and puns that Yomi is throwing out today. Please use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
And our app is also available for download both on the Android and iOS store. Now this app allows you to watch us from anywhere in the world.
I am really excited about today. You know why? Because as always, on a Wednesday, we kick things off.
And then we're going to have our first musical performance for this morning. A multi-talented performing artist, Easy Ride. Easy needs to put some flesh on that.
Then we have another performance a little later on. We have the versatile artist and instrumentalist, T Fresh.
On Health today, we are going to be looking at the causes and solutions for postpartum depression. Now, this happens to a lot of women, but they don't like to talk about it. So Dr. Maimuna will be joining us this morning for that one.
And on nutrition today, Susan Ajibade will be discussing nutritional values of different proteins. Now, you don't want to miss this.
Now, if you've ever wondered how to leverage on love languages to enrich your marriage or relationship in 2020, stick around with marriage counselor Olabisi Folari.
Feels like we have a packed show. Yeah, we also
when people, you were going to say something?
Yes, we also have an opera singer coming.
Oh, okay, opera singer.
Yes, so, and his name is TK, and now he has this amazing baritone and he's performed all over the world, and it'd be great to hear him as well.
Yeah.
So was it planned? Why are we all blue today?
Is
it the weather?
Interesting. I don't know how that happened.
I mean, I didn't even know MM was here. Thank you for stopping by.
Oh, wow. Great.
Welcome, MM.
For visiting us.
For all of you.
No, thank you for gracing our couch with your presence.
Thank you very much. I feel honored. Thank you for the award.
See? Wow.
Honorary.
Please, why is MM looking very yellow? I don't understand.
You've missed her. But it's so great to have you back, MM. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh.
She's been back.
How's the baby? I've not been on set with her yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been, baby's fine. Her name is Eliana. She woke,
Eliana.
So at the time we woke up this morning, rushing out of the house, she woke up, and I felt guilty.
Yeah.
I felt this pang of guilt just hit my chest.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Like,
That
oh my God.
you're abandoning,
like,
you're abandoning your
like
child.
I was abandoning my child, and
Yeah.
I was supposed to, breastfeed her. I couldn't do that. I just had to take her to her nanny so she could you know, but the things we have to do for
It's
But
not
she-
a nice feeling.
Yeah,
though, that
she's,
movement.
I mean, I saw her. She looks chill. Is she chill?
yeah, she is. She's such a gentle soul.
Wow.
Yes.
Is she more
she
gentle than
is.
Elsie?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, I can say that out loud. Yes. Oh no, she
so
is
Elsie,
so calm.
So Elsie is like you. And
And Eliana
In
is like
other
her dad.
words, yummies.
Eliana is like her dad.
In other words.
she's like you physically. is
Oh
what I
wow,
meant.
physically. Okay.
It's so great to have you back though. So you know, it's one thing to have one baby, but it's a completely different ball game to have two. Yeah.
And
So-
trust me, I think one of the discussions I think we should have, which we'll, of course we're going to have later on in the month when it comes to parenting, is having to manage toddlers under 3, because it's not easy. Having to manage, take care of a baby and a toddler. Oh, mothers are trying. Like,
It's
we are trying.
It's there's also you run the risk of it's not a risk depending on who you want to be as a mother of losing a sense of self, because now you're sort of breaking yourself up into different little bits for this person, for that person, for so there's husband there's one kid and there's another kid and then so
There's work.
Yeah,
so-
and that's why we are talking about emotional well-being this month, and that's why we have Dr. Memuna coming in later on to talk about postpartum depression, because a lot of women go through it. I mean, I share a lot of experiences with, nursing mothers as well, and it is hell, if I would say that. It is. It's a struggle.
Especially
It's
if
not
they're
easy.
alone, if they don't have family
Yes.
support. And family support sometimes feels like intrusion, like people just want to
Invading
be in
your
your
space.
world, in
Yeah.
your space. Sometimes the mom just needs support. So it's probably a father hearing this right now who is wondering, wait, why is your mother still in the house?
When you say-
it's possibly just keeping your wife sane.
I think a lot of these services that we assume are luxuries, services like dropping your baby off somewhere and then just going to a spa and going to see a movie and just chill. So a lot of those things are expensive by comparison in Nigeria. So we think, oh, it's a big luxury, I can't do it, and all of that. I think we need more of those services and probably even maybe government-run kind of services like that.
Yeah.
So that mothers can
afford it as well.
Yeah, so mothers can redirect their energies, unwind, decompress.
Honestly, big words, but very important.
Just disconnect from that husband that is always just like, give you a little bit of time. Because men are very selfish and very demanding.
Oh,
That's the
wow.
truth.
Yeah,
Coming from a
spoken
man.
like a true man. Speaking of a true man, we have Ibrahim being true to us and wearing blue as well this morning.
Wow. Okay.
Really?
Interesting. Like, what happened today?
Well, I believe what Yemi said. If Mike had said that, probably I would have thought otherwise. All right, the army repelled an attack by Boko Haram insurgents on the convoy of the theater commander of Operation Lafia Dole, Major General Olusegun Adeniyi. The incident occurred when Major General Adeniyi was on his way back to Maiduguri after a visit to troops recently deployed to Jacana to strengthen security in the area. Insurgents bombarded the soldiers with heavy fire, but they were able to subdue them and continue their trip, returning safely to the headquarters of the command. 2 soldiers were wounded and are receiving treatment at a military medical facility and responding positively. The vehicle of the theater commandant was also badly damaged during the encounter. The peace Nigeria and Nigerians currently enjoy is hard-won, and therefore efforts should be intensified by the governments, corporate organizations and individuals to ensure that ex-servicemen do not suffer. This was the major advice at the launch of the 2020 Armed Forces Remembrance Emblem in Osun State. Our correspondent Rafi Hamid reports.
It's an annual event usually held at the government house, Okefia. Top government functionaries are all in attendance. These men, who utilize their productive years for the defense of fatherlands, are here in their numbers alongside their wives. Chairman, Nigerian Legion, Osun State, Oladimeji Olalere, stressed the need for government to take good care of the ex-servicemen, particularly those that are permanently disabled.
Those who staked their lives through participation in the Nigerian Civil War, conflicts in Chad Republic, Liberia, Somalia, Sierra Leone and during the First and Second World War to ensure the unity and cohesion of this country and to enshrine global peace. We are all aware of what became of many of these gallant heroes. We must never forget them.
The state governor believes nothing is too big to appreciate those that have fought for the unity of the country.
We believe as a government that maintaining the peace that our veterans fought for and died for, and taking care of their welfare and those of the loved ones, are the minimum we can do to reciprocate the patriotism and supreme sacrifices of our fallen heroes.
We have to encourage them so that they will be able to put up their best to serve the nation diligently. In a situation where a retired military officer is not being taken care, definitely this will discourage those in the service not to put up their best.
The governor says selfless service of the ex-servicemen is enough to motivate Nigerians, irrespective of their differences, to eschew rancor and shun acts capable of tearing the nation apart. He donated the sum of 5 million naira to the state chapter of the Legion. The event featured decoration of the governor, his wife, the deputy governor, and the Speaker of the State House of Assembly with the emblem. Rafiu Hamid, TVC News, Oshogo.
Well, the army has promised to investigate the allegation of extortion of commuters by its personnel in Borno State. In a statement, media coordinator of Army Operations, Aminu Iliasu, says that the army, as a professional and disciplined institution, views such allegations seriously, particularly coming from a governor. He assures residents of Borno State and indeed the nation that any allegations of misconduct against its troops will be investigated and culprits will be dealt with accordingly. He adds that such outburst is capable of reversing the gains recorded so far in the ongoing fight against insurgents and other criminal elements across the nation. Outside Nigeria, at least 2 air bases housing U.S. troops in Iraq have been hit by more than a dozen ballistic missiles, according to the U.S. Department of Defense. Iranian state TV says the attack is a retaliation after the country's top commander, Qasem Soleimani, was killed in a drone attack in Baghdad on the orders of U.S. President Donald Trump. It is unclear if there have been any casualties. The attacks took place hours after the burial of Soleimani. The U.S. says it is monitoring the situation closely and consulting with its national security team. Iran has issued a warning to all American allies who gave their bases to U.S. Army that any territory that is a starting point of aggressive acts against Iran will be targeted. And also, Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zarif issued a statement on Twitter claiming the attack was self-defense and denied seeking to escalate the situation into war. President Trump tweeted shortly afterwards insisting all is well, while adding that they had not yet assessed possible casualties. A Boeing 737 plane carrying 180 passengers and crew crashed shortly after takeoff from Imam Khomeini Airport in Tehran early today. The Ukrainian Airline's plane crashed due to technical difficulties, according to Iran's semi-official news agency. We'll bring you more details in our subsequent bulletins. And that's the news update for this hour. It's time to let you know what the weather will look like today.
Well, thank you, Tokwe, for that. We're starting with the Punch this Wednesday, January 8,
Yes,
2020.
And it says here, PDP, APC clash as 30 die in Borno bridge explosion. Very sad one there, very sad headline. It says here, APC responsible for rising bloodletting, say the opposition party. PDP has nightmares peddling falsehood, says APC. Then another story here in the photo story, It says 78 medical officers separate conjoined twins in 12-hour operation. Page 39 has more on that. It says there's not as many details about the status of the twins right now, but they look good as at, well, with the pictures we can see here, and hopefully they're doing well. It says 18 paraded for disrupting Oshun crossover party. It says, my brother stabbed our father to death, says a witness. PDP governors fault alleged Umahi's defection to APC. Moving to the top of the page here, it says recapitalization. 6 insurance companies set to merge. I wonder which ones they are. Page 28 has more on that. It's too early to decide 2023 presidential zoning, says Tinubu. Lagos, Rivers headquarters of money laundering, alleges Magu. Beside the masthead there, DHQ to probe extortion by soldiers. Zulum hails action. And finally, Buhari orders minister to reverse REA boss suspension. That's what we have on the cover of the Punch.
All right, let's take a look at the Vanguard. Presidency can tango over rising insecurity. The federal government treating criminals with kid gloves, Khan says. We won't tolerate religious rascality, replies the federal government. Bloodbath in Borno as Boko Haram blast kills 30. Wow. And this was trending yesterday all over the social media. Ilia Rugbo, it's vendetta against our family, Gbemi Saraki says. An Edo Assembly crisis. Court stops planned by-election to fill 14 seats declared vacant. Lagos to fund deficit with 97.5 billion naira borrowing. Nigeria's power sector records 14 billion naira loss in 1 week. Now, at the bottom here, we have a few other stories. 78 experts separate conjoined sisters after 13-hour surgery in Abuja. That's hearty news. In 2023, it's too early to decide on zoning of presidency, Tinubu says, and Buhari overrules power minister on Ogunbiyi's suspension. And photo story is an interesting one this morning. Talking about the African Player of the Year award. Senegalese winger Sadio Mane, who carried that award last night. And that's what we've got on the cover of the Vanguard.
We have the Guardian newspaper here as well, and it says here how Boko Haram convoy, or rather attacked commander's convoy in Borno. Troops repel ambush as explosive device kills dozens. Atiku PDP mourn victims. It also says here, task federal government on insecurity. Presidency restates commitment to fight insurgency. Daughters of Chibok, the searing pains that won't go away. A special report on pages 38 and 39 of The Guardian there. Confusion as EFCC returns Shehu Sani to custody over alleged $10,000 bribe. Outrage as Buhari reverses suspension of REA boss. Tinubu visits Buhari, downplays Bakare's call for successor. And Okorie, Igbo group, disagree with APC national leader. Jonathan not under pressure to contest 2023 election. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
All right, let's take a look at the Daily Trust with the headline, Details Scanty as Operation Amotekun starts in Southwest. And we have an infographic there concerning what that is all about. And restless politicians talking about 2023, Tinubu says. And oil price, federal government revenue shrinks as petrol subsidy rises. And a few other stories at the bottom here. Warm clothes markets boom in Jos over freezing cold, as low as 5 degrees on some nights. And Oshoala crowned African Women's Player of the Year. And finally, electricity tariff. What federal government discos should do. Experts, LCCI and NECA respond. And that's what we have on the cover of the Daily Trust.
We have the Nation newspaper as well. I don't think we've taken the Nation, have we?
No, we haven't.
Okay, yeah. It says 2023 secession talks now unnecessary, says Tinubu. And there's a quote there. Of course, resistance of politics is going to be there, but any lover of this country will not talk about secession plan yet. And there's still quite a lot to read there. Now, Buhari has the character to refuse third term in office, it says, and it's continued on page 7. Court stops planned electricity tariff hike. Minister discos to face Senate. Continued on page 7. President to INEC. Elections must reflect people's wishes. The people's wish, rather. Police agency committed to credible poll. Moving to the top of the page here. Kwara stays action on Saraki's land. President urges truce. Police restrict parents as medics give blood to a baby. That's an interesting one there. And finally, probe stops reburial of LASU student. Mates disappointed. That's what we have on the cover of The Nation.
We've got the Daily Trust here. The Daily Sun. Court stops electricity tariff hike. You'll find those stories on pages 4 and 5. And when the headline, Tinubu opens up on third term for Buhari zoning. Says it's too early to decide on zoning for presidency. Edo Assembly crisis. Court stops INEC government from conducting by-elections. Boko Haram attacks Army commander's convoy. Kills driver. Wow. And rerun elections in 11 states. There must be free, fair polls, Buhari tells INEC police. And presidency can fight over terrorism. You're working for terrorists, government tells Christian body. We'll talk about insecurity until situation improves. And we've got a photo story here, an interesting one and also a hearty good news for the parents of conjoined twins. We have the Minister of Health there, Dr. Ehanire Osage, admiring conjoined twins born to Mr. and Mrs. Michael Martins, who were successfully separated by the National Hospital in Abuja. And yeah, so this was really, really good. And you can see another photograph there of the twins looking like they're just relaxed and both alive, both healthy. We thank God for that.
Really thank God for that.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't get that information on the first cover, you know, how the twins are actually doing.
Oh, they're doing
know?
good. They're doing
and
good.
they look like they're doing amazing. Well, it's time for us to take a break. Talkware will be giving us the traffic reports when we come back. Stay with us.
Welcome back. We are about to give tips on the best routes for you this morning to get to your destination faster. Now, as always, we encourage that you help other road users by dropping relevant traffic situation reports on all our social media pages using the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. So this morning, because a follower used the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC and said we should give routes from Abulegba to Ikeja, I'm going to do that. So if you want us to do routes that you're taking, you should also use the hashtag, and we will definitely share the traffic reports from those directions. So we're starting from Abulegba to Ikeja, like I said, and it's going to take approximately 32 minutes if you're going to go via this route. Now, if you might want to take the Okoaba, which is through Agege, that will take you 36 minutes. But let's see how we should start this trip from... This is, so there's a popular supermarket here, which is at Pipeline Road. So we're starting from Pipeline Road. You could also want to start from Ekoro Road and join at Pipeline. So now we're going through Pipeline, and it's free-flowing traffic all the way. Now, at some point at Owode Street, if you want to connect to the Agege, thinking that that might be faster, you're actually going to have a 6-minute delay. So you might not want to take that route. You might just want to stick through the Abeokuta Expressway. There's slight traffic at Alagoke Street, where the AP filling station is. There's a very slight traffic there, maybe like 2-3 minutes, and it goes back to a free-flowing traffic all the way through Ogoride Street, all the way through to the popular ice cream spots there. Now there's thick traffic just after that point where you get by the, there's a microfinance bank. Okay, good. Abdul Ganiyu Street. There's thick traffic from that point all the way till you get to Iya Alimo please pity me if I'm not getting it right, but I'm sure you have an idea. Now, the traffic ends at that point, and we go back to free-flowing all the way through Oremeji, all the way through, oh, this is good. So if you're coming through Abulegba, or if you're at home and you stay at Abulegba, you might want to get on the road at this point. Now, all the way to Ikpaja Bridge. Now, there's slight traffic at that point. I think I heard Mary say sometime that there was road repairs going on there. So that might be a cause, but the traffic seems to go for like 7 to 10 minutes. So you might just want to exercise a little patience around that area. But immediately after you come off the bridge, there's free-flowing traffic up until you get to Ogunde Street at around Yaba Lane. So if you're going to connect from that part, because I can see a lot of roads connecting to that point. So I'm sure the traffic, I'm guessing the traffic at that point is because a lot of roads meet there. So there's going to be thick traffic all the way through Abule Oki. But when you get to Akintoye Street, there's a free-flowing traffic. You might want to disconnect at Akintoye Street and reconnect at Tijani Street, because that takes you off like maybe 2-3 minutes if you're in such a rush. Now we'll get back, and then we have free-flowing all the way through Abeokuta Expressway, free-flowing up until you get to, just slightly after Akowonjo Road. There is a little bit of traffic there. You know, we might not know what's going on, but that's why we have you to use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria and tell us what's going on if you're around that axis. And then shortly after that, we have free flowing, thankfully. But when you get to somewhere at Egba Street, there's a thick traffic there all the way through to the Ascon station, to Johnson Street. But when you get to Adekpeju, it begins to ease up, and then we have free flowing again. Okay, so it's just, I think it's just pockets of traffic here and there, which is usually expected at this time of the morning, and things shouldn't be so tough. But okay, so now I'm still going, and then we get to Ikeja along Market. Now maybe it's going to be like a bumper to fender ride, but it gets a bit thicker at Lagos City Polytechnic axis. It gets thicker up until the Ikeja, slightly at the, okay, I'm trying to see where this is. Okay, so it's I can see Concord Way. So it's thickest at that point, but it begins to ease up around that axis. And guess what? From the under bridge where the airport is around that where the airport is, that under bridge, the road turns a lot. I can't remember the exact street, but I can see a bridge there, and I can see that from the under bridge is clear. So I'm going to let them, Yomi, Titi, and tell me what they have on their side while I get other routes for you.
Thank you.
Just rounding off, actually. So, but I'll take a few here on traffic butter. Bode Thomas, this was 12 minutes ago. Currently good to go. Nice free flowing traffic in that area. Dorman Long, inward Ojuelegba, currently free. That's good. Onikpanu to Jibo, currently free. That was 12 minutes ago. That is a good one. Yeah. Onikpanu to Jibo usually is pretty busy because of the buses. You know, usually the Onipan, the service lane is usually blocked at this time, and then Jibo as well, travelers and all of that. But it's free this morning, so Ikorodu Road looks good, looks not too bad. I don't know if you have any over there.
I have one or two. It says Bega, inward Chinatown, currently good to go. That's as at 6:10. As at just a little bit before that, it says free movement from Barracks to Mile 2 along Badagry Expressway. Then finally, Admiralty en route Lekki Toll, currently high influx. All right, so basically everybody is rerouting and heading out of Lekki Phase 1 to the Lekki Toll Gate.
Yeah.
So it's quite busy there right now.
All right.
That's what I have.
Yeah, I think that's about all that we could take on traffic. But Takwa, if you have any other things you want to add, that's fine.
Oh, okay, just for people going from Aja to Boarding Cantonment, it should take you approximately 50 minutes. It's not so, the traffic from Aja is not so thick. You have free flowing up until VGC, which is expected because of the traffic light, and it's Agungi, thick traffic. I think at every traffic light, there's still there's traffic there, which is expected, but I'm sure you should reach your destination in good time. I'm going to join them for Coffee Gist, because I'm sure there's something interesting we're talking about today.
Quite a few things.
Yeah. Who's been watching the political scene in the U.S.? Who's been watching that? Have you been watching that?
What? I mean,
it's like
you know how things, you just know that things are fluid. You just watch, you just observe. That's what we're doing right now. But so yesterday, you know, the Minister of Health presented formerly conjoined twins that were successfully separated in Nigeria. But it took 78 doctors. Of course, I'm sure it's not all the 78 doctors. Some were probably observing and, you know, say this, but it was very good news. The twins are doing okay. The parents are happy. And I just like the fact that now we're finally making progress in our health sector. In the old days, we fly them to India because that's the next most affordable location. Let me not say cheapest because it's not cheap by any rate. So next most affordable location after Nigeria is India, where you can get good healthcare. But now it looks like it's things are changing.
Well, that's the thing. We've always had really good doctors here in Nigeria, professionals, like from surgeons to gynecologists to all the, you know, everyone in that area. We really had really good ones, especially in the general hospitals.
It's
you know,
actually the service. The services and sometimes the equipment that
and equipment as well.
And then of course electricity that have been the major issues pulling these doctors from showing their skills.
But do you know that there are a few states, for example, in Akwa Ibom states that have, you know, when you're talking about world-class medical facilities in there that you could use in performing whatever surgery, you know, in the world. They have those equipments there.
Oh, yeah?
But yes, they do actually. Well equipped, like to the, as in top notch.
Yeah, even the National Hospital in Abuja.
Yeah.
You know,
So there are a few of them, but well, some people, it's not even about the, it's the fear. No, I prefer the younger people to touch my, or to perform
and there are many things that
just rely on their expertise more.
Yeah, and there are many things that are still significantly prohibitively expensive, actually. So, for instance, oxygen. You know, the responsibility for buying that oxygen is on the person that is sick or his family. So, and you're paying up to, in some cases, 30,000 naira per day. That's
that was a
apart from what you're
13-hour operation. That's how much oxygen would they have used for that whole operation.
You know, so a lot of oxygen. So someone who you're just even trying to resuscitate has to pay for oxygen first. Otherwise, they're on their way out. Then, you know, blood is another major. So many things that need to, apart from having very good hospitals, many things that need to change. All these little things that need to then come together.
Sorry, just a quick one. Did the parents pay for that procedure?
No, they wouldn't have. So again, because it's a major procedure, if you have to first convince the parents to stay in Nigeria to do it. So you then say, look, we want to ensure that this is the first one and all that. So hopefully they got some support from the government.
Yes.
So yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah, I saw the twins on the cover of the paper. They were smiling.
They looked healthy. You know, it's just so many parents in general have fears of even just the most common toothache. Talk less of a major surgery like that. So I actually give kudos to the parents for being so patient and likely prayerful.
Trusting and as well trusting.
You know, trusting of the process. And the Minister of Health was there in the paper. So
he was there.
It's
very nice.
It's good news. It is good news. Yeah.
So, we're at your house. You're sorry. We're at your house a few days ago. Something happened.
To pay condolences. I recently lost my dad. Well, that's not news anymore. On the 26th of last month. And it's been a really trying time for the family. So yeah, it's been really hard. I won't lie to you. It's been really hard. I feel like my mind right now is clogged with so many things. And I was talking to a therapist recently about how I was feeling because, I mean, this is just barely a year ago where, you know, my mom went missing and he was telling me that it's better to decluster, vent if you have to vent, talk about how you're feeling, your emotions, because it's like a roller coaster of emotions, you know, happening right now with me. And my dad was a very lovable person. Let me say that about him. He was very lovable. He had a gentle soul. Oh, my dad had a gentle soul. And growing up, we didn't really have like a fantastic relationship because he was mostly busy. Yeah, which is very common with Nigerian men. But after when I got married, When I
gonna
got
say
married, our relationship got really better. Oh, it was amazing. I mean, and shortly before he died, funny enough, on the Sunday before he died, he even called me up. And he was like, oh, he wanted to come spend time with the kids, see with his grandkids. And at first I was like,
here we go.
You wanted to rest.
Really stop. I just want to rest.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I allowed him come over, spend time with his kids. I mean, we had a great conversation, and I'm glad that I had to spend that moment with him before he passed on.
Okay, so this is where we all give you a big hug.
So, rest in peace, Dad.
We love you.
Everybody.
Well done, MM.
MM, you are one of
You've
the
been so
strongest
strong.
women
She
I've
is.
met.
Well done.
And thank you so much for, being a great example to other strong young moms out there.
Yeah, and anybody else who's
appreciate
out there coping with the death of a loved one or
Please.
grief, something that happened recently.
Talk about it. Talk about it. If talk about it even to a stranger, if you must. Don't care if you don't know the person or not. Just declutter your mind because it will really help to get through, this grief process. Yeah.
That's amazing, MM. That's amazing. Well done. Well done.
Proud of you.
Well,
We're going to take a quick break, but Wake Up Nigeria continues after this.
Guys, yes, with me is Easy Ride. So yes, there's a difference known by his stage. There's a difference with your stage name, right? Yeah, and your real name, right? And he's a multi-talented singer, songwriter, and performing artist. He started his career in 2012, and today he's here to perform one of his latest songs. So, Easy Ride is an Afro-pop and Afro-high life singer. So tell me about your journey since 2012. How's it been?
Since 2012, nothing good comes easy, but I believe the sweetest part of it that we are moving.
Okay.
So we are moving, so that's it.
We are just moving. Let's just be moving with the flow, right?
We are moving from one level to another level, so that's the sweet part of it.
All right. So quickly, tell me about artists that inspire you in the industry.
Yeah, in the likes of Wizkid, I think I like his grace.
Okay.
And Two-Face, the strength to stay long that much, so I like that part of it.
Okay, so tell us about the song which you're about to perform right now.
Yeah, it's a love song, yeah. The title is For Yakata, actually. So.
For Yakata.
Yeah.
Oh, you fell Yakata for a
her,
babe.
yeah.
Wow, who's the girl? Tell us about her. I want to quickly hear this. Tell me about her now. You don't want to tell me about her. Tell us about her. We'd like to hear. We love stories.
She's not
here,
really
Wake Up
even
Nigeria.
there. There's no one there. I won't say there's anyone there.
Okay.
But for the people that have loved ones, they are fall
they
Yakata.
fall
So I'm
Yakata.
falling for now in the future.
Oh,
So
okay, this is it. All right, I'm just going to let you do your thing.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Give me your love, oh. If not too far, I fight for your love, oh. Oh, baby, make you cool. Give me your love, oh. Because I don't for your kata, yeah. Oh, baby, I don't for your kata, yeah. Baby.
Hello, good morning. Welcome. It's the second hour of the show, and we're starting our day hopefully helping you remember that success is the small sum of efforts repeated day in, day out. What?
Yeah. I like that. I like these little nuggets that you give us nowadays.
Oh, it's the wisdom of 2020,
it's
plenty,
good.
plenty,
It's good. It's
as they
good.
say.
Anyway, we've prepared a great show for you, and we'd like you to stick around because it's going to be really good.
Please keep it locked with us. And we have quite a lot lined up for you. My name is Titilayo Onyison.
And I'm Yomi Ope. We're streaming live right now on tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Send in those comments as soon as you can. Have you joined our blue movement? Please, if you decide to wear a blue outfit today just because of us, just take a picture use our
We're
hashtag.
not all blue though.
What?
Just saying.
What? We're blue. Okay, yes, Tokwe isn't wearing blue today. She didn't get the memo, but
Yeah,
it's
she
fine. It's fine. It's okay. But she's in the kitchen with our chef, though. That's interesting.
Hi, people. Please don't let them outshine me. I'm the standout queen, please.
Wow.
I'm the standout queen. I've been trying to rehearse her name before Ipu came, but I'm sorry. I won't even murder it. Please, my darling chef, Shebotimo. Shebotimo. Motimo. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Very nice, very nice. Anyway, we have an app available for you to download,
Yeah.
just in case you don't have it yet. And that app allows you to watch us anywhere you are, if you have to be out of the house or, you know, if you travel.
Of course, now you can watch everything happening in our kitchen with Chef Shebotimo and Tokwe and all of us on the show today, as long as you have that app.
All right,
now,
so let's let you know what's happening for the rest of the show. The second half, second musical performance is coming up, and it's from the versatile artist and instrumentalist, Trash.
on health today, we'll be looking at the causes and solutions for postpartum depression. Dr. Maimuna will be joining us on the show today to have a chat.
Right after that, Susan Ajibade will be joining us. Give us some the nutritional values of protein. Now, of course, a lot of us already knew that from primary school, but we're going deeper. Talk about
Different types of protein.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's going to be very important.
A lot of people don't know that there's more carbohydrates in beans than there is protein. But hey, we are going to be talking relationships as well today. It's a packed show today. 2020. You might want to listen to this marriage counselor. Olabisi Folarin is going to be here. She'll be talking about leveraging intentionally on love languages to enrich your marriage or relationship. Yes, so love languages.
Love. So I think that this issue of love languages has been overflowed.
Oh, wow.
And let me tell you why. I don't know
Why?
why people
Go
are
ahead,
smiling.
go ahead.
So, but let me tell you why.
Why?
So you can't put an individual in a box. People are constantly evolving.
True.
Right? So what you wanted or what you thought you wanted at 18 is probably completely different from what you want at 25 or 30 or 35. So you can't just say, oh, my love language is I like spending time, or my love language is I like receiving gifts and things like that. So
Well, I can
do
tell you for sure that every woman's love language is receiving gifts.
Is a lie, Joe.
Slash money.
It's a lie.
Slash cars.
It's a
Slash
lie.
shoes.
That's your own.
So let me say. So
Not
let me,
mine.
Titi, your love
Not
language
mine.
is not gifts.
No,
You don't
no.
like gifts?
That's
Wait.
actually the worst thing a guy can do.
To give you gifts.
Yes.
So what should you give
So
you? Time.
the whole baby look after you thing, I don't like it.
So what do you like?
exactly.
I
so
really don't.
so
I've never liked it.
I'm saying that people. So don't put yourself in a box
Yeah.
about who you are, because you're constantly evolving, right? So. Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
mean,
So
I
the
really
box
don't
you
like. I
Yeah.
don't like
Yeah.
the whole
from
men
20,
looking
20
after
to
women
25,
thing.
what was
That's
your love
just me.
language?
What?
My love language was Jesus, man. Jesus was, because it was around the time that I just gave my heart to Christ. So, you know,
Yeah.
that was my focus. So if you wanted to, you know.
Give Yomi
Exactly.
a Bible. That's his love
That's
language.
your
Yeah.
Okay, so now,
Exactly, so,
now that
yeah.
you're fully embedded in the gospel of Christ,
What's my love
What's
language?
your love
I
language?
can't, there's no way that you can put me in a box like that.
Okay,
I wouldn't take it. So this is not about spending time. It's not about buying me gifts. It's not about
Just
commenting
making
on
sure
my,
your food is on the table. You know?
commenting on my clothes. No, nothing like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
you know, I read, Mary referred something, shout out to Mary, she referred an app to me for reading books. So I started reading one book yesterday. And
Please tell me, what's it?
I'll tell you off. But you have to pay, I mean, it's January.
okay.
You need to make money.
That was
so
free.
No, you pay me. And I tell you the name.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a paid
No,
app.
you pay me, then I tell you the name of the app. Then I'll share it with Mary in case Mary wants to slime me.
Wow.
Back to what I was saying. So it talks about different types of mindsets.
Yeah.
And then it said there's the fixed mindset. So while I was reading it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the mindset. And then the next that came up is the grown mindset, which now made a lot of sense. And it talked about how fixed mindset, how people keep their minds in a box.
Yeah.
When he said
Yeah.
box, just reminded me. And then he said the grown mindset is how you actually allow yourself evolve.
Exactly,
And that made
exactly.
me realize that I used to think I had a love language,
Yeah.
which was spending time.
Okay.
until I started getting gifts, and I'm like, I love
So MM was correct.
Yeah,
no,
well,
In a way.
I do not
Yeah.
stand corrected, FYI, guys. I know. But we have
I'm
to
sure
move over to
if
the
someone
news
else tries
now.
something else.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go to the news.
I'll
and-
probably have a Ferrari now.
Oh,
My
wow.
love language. Yeah.
Ibrahim, over to you.
Take it away.
If wishes were horses,
Beggars were right.
beggars were right. The army repelled an attack by Boko Haram insurgents on the convoy of the theater commander of Operation Lafia Dole, Major General Olusegun Adeniyi. The incident occurred when Major General Adeniyi was on his way back to Maiduguri after a visit to troops recently deployed to Jacana to strengthen security in the area. Insurgents bombarded the soldiers with heavy fire, but they were able to subdue them and continue their trip, returning safely to the headquarters of the command. 2 soldiers were wounded and are receiving treatment at a military medical facility and responding positively. The vehicle of the theater commandant was also badly damaged during the encounter. Meanwhile, the army has promised to investigate the allegation of extortion of commuters by its personnel in Borno State. In a statement, media coordinator of Army Operations, Aminu Iliasu, says that the Army, as a professional and disciplined institution, views such allegations seriously, particularly coming from a governor. He assures residents of Borno State and indeed the nation that any allegations of misconduct against its troops will be investigated and culprits will be dealt with accordingly. He adds that such outbursts is capable of reversing the gains recorded so far in the ongoing fight against insurgents and other criminal elements across the nation. At least 2 air bases housing U.S. troops in Iraq have been hit by more than a dozen ballistic missiles, according to the U.S. Department of Defense. Iranian state TV says the attack is a retaliation after the country's top commander, Qasem Soleimani, was killed in a drone attack in Baghdad on the orders of U.S. President Donald Trump. It is unclear if there have been any casualties. The attacks took place hours after the burial of Soleimani. The U.S. says it's monitoring the situation closely and consulting with its national security team. Iran has issued a warning to all American allies who gave their bases to U.S. Army that any territory that is the starting point of aggressive acts against Iran will be targeted. Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zarif issued a statement on Twitter claiming the attack was self-defense and denied seeking to escalate the situation into war. And President Donald Trump tweeted shortly afterwards insisting all is well, while adding that they had not yet assessed possible casualties. Oil prices climbed sharply on Tuesday after the Pentagon confirmed that Iran launched more than a dozen ballistic missiles against military bases in Iraq that house U.S. troops. Crude, which settled at $62.7 a barrel during regular trading early on Tuesday, climbed as high as $65.48 a barrel, jumping by more than 4% by Tuesday evening. Investors are on high alert for any signs of a clash between the United States and Iran that threatens oil supplies in the Middle East. Crude prices retreated earlier this week on hopes that energy supplies won't be impacted by the tensions. A spike in oil prices could deal a blow to the world economy. And a Boeing 737 plane carrying 180 passengers and crew crashed shortly after takeoff from Imam Khomeini Airport in Tehran early today. The Ukrainian Airlines plane crashed due to technical difficulties, according to the Iran semi-official news agency. We'll bring you more details in our subsequent bulletins as we get them. And that's the news update for this hour.
And then again, I have been practicing. Shebi
Otimo.
Shebi Otimo. Shebi Moti Safua Tele. Shebi Otimo. Yes, so I have Chef Shebi Otimo with me. And we're making plantain with crisp eggs. And
Over vegetable.
Crispy eggs over
over
vegetable. You know, this
Veggies.
is, in layman English, we're making plantain, egg, and vegetable.
Yes.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yes.
So, let's just quickly run through the ingredients. It doesn't look like it's so much, so it's very cost effective.
Something light.
Something light. After all, it's breakfast, so we can have something light.
Something
So
light.
we have plantain here. What vegetable is this?
This is water leaf.
Water leaf. So does it have to be water leaf, or it
No,
could be?
you can use spinach, you can use ugu, you can use all sorts
Any
of
vegetable of your
that
choice.
you are comfortable
and
with.
And then we have
our chili pepper, onions, spice.
Okay, so what do we have?
That's the secret of the recipe.
Me too, I'll also make my own secret. You people should just be watching. Talk about secret recipe.
Yes.
And then we have
kuli oil.
Okay.
And normal vegetable oil.
You know, this really caught my attention. Kuli oil. How did you get this oil? Did you extract it by yourself?
Yes, because I do kuli myself. So
yes. Speaking of which, we have kuli here.
Yes.
So you make this yourself as well?
Yes. So, and I extracted the oil.
The oil.
Added to the...
To the oil with the vegetable oil. That's what we're going to use.
Yes.
So why do we use kuli oil? Is it for health benefits or
for health benefits, and it has a special
aroma that it gives
and taste.
And taste. Okay.
Can
I take this one when I'm going?
No problem.
Thank you.
It's a artificial free, no preservative.
No preservatives.
Oh,
okay.
So something natural.
Natural.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that means this can be a healthier alternative to the normal vegetable. Oh, great.
But I brought this for some people that don't have, that can't lay their hands on kuli oil.
Of course, if you want to get kuli oil, you could always contact Chef.
Yeah, I'm always available for you. Shebo.
I will get it before we leave here.
Yeah, definitely you do.
But I mean, I think we should all consider healthy alternatives because we're trying to fight diseases, stay away from anything that can shorten our lifespan. So we could try the kuli oil. This is the first I'm hearing of it, so I will do my research.
This is our sauce.
You should do research.
Our grounded pepper.
So our is it just peppers here?
Onions, rodo, tomatoes, and
this is
ginger.
Like a lot. Oh, okay. So you know what? For you, my darling viewers at home, let's quickly have the menu run down on the screen so you could quickly scribble it down and you can start making yours as well. So starting off, we have plantain.
Yes.
We have water leaf. We have the peppers and onions. We have the secret seasoning. Thank you. We have kuli. We have vegetable, chili pepper, groundnut oil, salt, eggs, onions, spices. That's pretty much it. And this should cost you approximately how much to prepare?
You know, when you are cooking, it depends on what you want and how you're possible. With at least for a layman that is, okay, let's just manage and eat good.
Yes.
With 1,000 naira.
1,000, you can get all this with 1,000 naira.
At reduced price, just depend on you alone, I mean, not for the whole of the family. Of
okay,
course,
for one person.
For one person.
Oh,
you are good with that.
I think this is like by far the cheapest breakfast I have heard, and doesn't even look like it's a bad breakfast. So you definitely want to try that. Now, if you're going to try it, what you should do is use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC and show me how you created your 1,000 naira breakfast. We will be going on a break, and trust me, there's a whole lot more happening here on Wake Up Nigeria. Don't go anywhere.
You know the best music comes right here on Wake Up Nigeria, and Oluwadamilola Adejima, popularly known as Tresh. This guy is a singer, songwriter, and instrumentalist. I started playing musical instruments as early as the age of 7, and by 11 he could play more than just one musical instrument. Now, he's known for his alternative R&B style music and has since released a couple of songs working with some of the best producers in the industry. And he's got a song for us today that he released back in October called Ire.
Yes.
So that's really, really good. And well done. You worked with a Ghanaian producer on that song. Why did you choose a Ghanaian producer? Was there something about his style that you liked?
It wasn't like I actually chose a Ghanaian producer.
Yeah.
It was just how it came, how it happened.
Yeah.
I had the song written down. I'd already recorded something on my phone. And then he just sent me a DM on Instagram like, "Guy, I love your sound. Let's work."
Oh, wow. Okay, that was really, really good. I mean, a Ghanaian producer and a Nigerian R&B singer.
I was doubting him at first.
But then you heard the sound and it was really
I was
good.
like, wow.
Yeah. Okay, so it's cool that you represent Bariga because, you know, you want to give a shout out to your folks out there.
Barry G.
Yeah. Super. Very nice, very nice. So what's it like? What's the response like? You know, your guys in the hood, you know, when you send out your songs, because these are the guys that know you, so they can also tell you the truth. So what's the response like from your guys?
The truth is, when it has to do with Bariga and I think another word for it is support.
Yeah.
Yeah, boys there, we support each other a whole lot.
That's really
Everybody's
good.
got everybody's back.
Yeah.
Everybody's repping Bariga anywhere they are. Like, so
That's
it's like
good. That's
yeah.
good. Yeah, I haven't been there in a long time. I didn't, I had some business interest there a while back. But anyway, so cool. So today you're going to be doing Ire, and this is a new song that's been out. What has that response been like on a general level? I know you've been trying to push the song out there, radio airplay and all of that.
It's been beautiful. It's I don't know what other word to use. It's been amazing. I have people coming from Kenya, Bulgaria, and different countries, even people that don't understand what the lyrics means, and they keep telling me it's a very nice song. It's beautiful. They love it. They want to do a cover.
All right. Anyway, we're looking forward to it. We can't wait. We can't wait. This guy is going to be. Look out for him this year, 2020, and look for him on Instagram as well. Follow him, and he's got great music, and he's doing Ire for us right now. That's Tresh.
I won't enjoy my life. All watch out back for me. Make I live like a king. Make enemies come bow for me. When I talk, make them bury you. Make them just obey everything I say.
All right, thank you very much, Tretch, for that one. Ire, amazing. All right, so now it's time for some health discussion, and Dr. Memuna Yusuf Kadiri is a dynamic consultant neuropsychiatrist and a fellow of the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria. She's also a certified trauma counselor and a neurofeedback practitioner. And this morning, she'll be talking about the causes, signs, symptoms of postpartum depression. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you.
Thank
you. So
you.
this month, we are focusing on the emotional well-being of new mothers, basically focusing on the postpartum after childbirth.
Exactly.
So let's talk about postpartum depression, because a lot of women go through that. I'm a new mom. And the thing is, I don't know if I went through postpartum depression.
But
Yes.
you just did some things happen.
I know some things happened. So please, let's enlighten us more on what postpartum depression is.
The thing is that before we get to postpartum depression, people need to know that there's what we call postpartum blues. That means some
Baby
level
blues.
of baby blues, some level of mood swings, crying, not wanting to touch the baby. A lot of us went through it. I have 3 children. So if you say, did I go through postpartum blues? I would boldly say it. Yes, it's so easy.
Postpartum blues?
These are the first 2-3 days, early few days after delivery, where you just feel this, I don't want to just have anything to do with this baby. I'm tired. You are easily fatigued. You're having sleep disturbances, especially if you are a first-time mom, and you are good with sleep. Then all of a sudden,
you're not sleeping.
You're not sleeping well. Because once you sleep, somebody is waking you up. The baby has been crying, breastfeed the baby and all that. So that is one thing a lot of mothers go through, but not all mothers go through the postpartum depression. This is when the symptoms now proceed a week, 2 weeks, and they're not going away. So you start noticing that they become more intense. That is the word we need to distinguish between the blues and the depression. Yes, it becomes more intense. Basic cries, the lady cries more, eating and sleeping pattern changes, mood swings are more intense, easily fatigued, not sleeping properly, very irritable. And the worst part of this is that in our society, when a woman is pregnant, you are asked to eat for 2 because everybody is focused on the baby.
Yes.
And then when you give birth, you are also asked to eat for 2 because the baby
She
needs
has to breastfeed. You have to breastfeed the baby.
How many times do we find out how this woman is really doing? And this omugwo whole thing is focused on the baby, not really on the mother. So we need to really
Even when they receive gifts, it's for the baby, not for the mother.
When they give you the money, they say, please,
for the baby, yes.
They insist on that. So the truth is that some women are already vulnerable during pregnancy, the issues they went through, maybe poor relationship, or it wasn't even planned pregnancy. So when they eventually have the baby, they are more at risk. So we have some women that are more at risk to having depression as against women that the depression does occur. And sometimes there's that myth that is when you have your first child. No. Some mothers have postpartum depression
with all their kids.
With all their kids. And it can lead to permanent major clinical depression.
Whoa.
Yes.
Okay, so quickly, now that we know the signs, let's talk about how to deal with it. Because I've heard instances of women having to stay away from their kids for a period of time to help get that stability and sanity. And a lot of them have been criticized for it because we live in a society where you cannot leave your child, especially a newborn. How do we deal with that? How do we close that gap?
The truth is that if people around us understand that that was a very good preventive measure for the woman not to harm or kill the child, they will understand how to manage that woman, because infanticide can occur. When those symptoms are so intense, the woman can easily kill herself or kill the baby. So that time away from that child is to help the woman heal properly. So if there's a mother-in-law or a mother or somebody is around, that's a good period for them to really help with the woman, to call up the obstetric and gynecologist. Most times, you don't even want to call a psychiatrist or a psychologist. It's your OBGYN doctor who you went through antenatal with, you want to quickly go a call. So that doctor will tell you, okay, these symptoms are not what I can deal with. We have or I have a colleague who can take care of it. And this is where the fathers come in. There's paternal postpartum depression.
Yes, and mostly it's not emotional, it's financial.
It's financial. So fathers need to also understand that postpartum depression can happen to women, but the men too can have paternal postpartum depression, especially if you're of young age, if it's your first time as a father, if you're having relationship challenges, and of course, financial challenges. So, and this can happen when the woman has given birth within that 1 year. And if the father does not seek for counsel or go seek for help on the mother and of course the child.
How do we deal with this quickly?
So the first thing is, of course, get to your doctor. The doctor will definitely let you know that these are symptoms that can even lead to psychosis. So we started from blues, depression, if you're not taken care of, gets to psychosis. So treatment is available, which is counseling. So it must not necessarily be medication. So people shouldn't have that notion that once you have postpartum depression, it must be some pills. It may just be counseling, it may just be therapy, it may be healthy support system around that woman to ensure that she copes and she deals with it. So baby is crying at night, let her express breast milk down, let her sleep well. So the person helping her will take the baby and give the baby. So, but of course, there are reasons when the woman may need medication, sometimes admission, to make sure that she copes well, she becomes healthier, and she can, of course, take care of that child.
Thank you so much, Dr. Memuna. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of people watching right now have been, enlightened. You have opened our minds to, how to deal with this disease or this sickness as it is.
Disorder.
Because disorder, that's what.
So before people say, oh, it doesn't mean that I'm mad or something. It's a medical condition, and there's nobody that will say this is for this person or it's for the. It can happen to anyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll continue this discussion, of course, next week with Dr. Memuna. Thank you so much, ma'am. All right, we're going on a quick break, people. There's still so much more on the show. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the kitchen, people. A lot has been going on, but trust me, you didn't miss out on so much. So now we have our plantain frying with the vegetable oil and a touch of the kuli oil, which our chef categorically said has healthier benefits. So you might want to try using kuli oil to get whatever nutritional benefits you can get. And you might even want to check on the internet to see what you can learn about that. So what are we doing next?
We are doing our sauce.
Our sauce. Okay.
So.
Okay. So now this the combination we have here. Now, if you're just joining us, you haven't missed so much. We're making plantain with crispy egg on vegetable. On veggie, I got it. With our special kuli as a side. You really want to try this out. I haven't tried it yet, but everybody in the studio has been giving me their testimony. So I need to join the bandwagon as soon as possible. This is the kuli oil.
The kuli oil.
Okay.
I'm using it specifically so you can feel the taste and know the difference in it.
Okay. So now what do we have here?
Our pepper.
Okay, so we have pepper,
onion, ginger, chili pepper.
Okay, so now for people joining, like I said earlier, let's quickly run through the menu for you so that you can scribble that down if you want to start. And interestingly, all this can cost you just 1,000 naira. So let's have the menu quickly on the screen for people joining us so they can join in the plantain and crisp egg parade with us. So we have plantain, obviously. We have eggs. We have vegetable. We have onions, pepper. We have the kuli oil extracted. We have the vegetable oil. We have a special seasoning. And we have the kuli itself as a side. So why did you put ginger in your sauce, in your mix? Any particular reason?
My brand preaches natural food.
Natural food,
so
okay.
Whatever my spice is, I do it with all natural
things. Okay.
This spice, there's nothing special in it. All there is crayfish.
Oh, okay.
You just want me to start
I just want to see this. I kept quiet. I'm like, okay.
I'll just give you just
tip of it. The tip of it.
Crayfish, cinnamon, ginger,
Okay.
dot. If you want it,
no, wait. You know you said ginger already.
Go on my Instagram page and you will see a lot of cooking
spices
with
that you
this
have.
spice.
Okay, so
oh
you know
my
what?
God.
Since she tried
just
to
want
help
you
you
to
all,
start giving her the
she
tea.
didn't allow me. So I mean, just follow her on social media and get the tips.
Super
and get the spices there for yourself and make your awesome meals. And guess what, guys? It is 1K to make this. So I want to see how you achieved. Yes, for yourself. I want to see how you achieved this. Use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC. Show me how you achieved your own breakfast and get your own kuli, and let's see how you mix that up. So now this vegetable, are we going to put this?
No.
Are we putting it in
we
eventually?
We are putting it.
Oh, okay.
This is salt.
Salt for taste. Okay.
Yes, for taste.
Okay. Nice. Ooh. So the kuli oil actually does the same thing.
The normal oil is doing.
Yes, it does the same thing. I hope you can see that. The kuli oil does the same thing. I want to feel like the kuli oil fries faster.
No, not at all.
Oh, well, and I like the way it smells. It has a really nice.
You see the smell. The smell will tell you how the food is going to.
Okay, that, you know, it's really sad that all you could get to experience is just visuals, just to see it. But you know, we might consider having a fan or two on the show one of these days. But it can only happen if you use the hashtag. I've been thinking about this hashtag since. There's so many benefits when you comment on our social media platforms. So if you want to come here, if you don't want to just see this, if you want to eat it and taste it and be with us on the show, Wake Up Nigeria on TVC. That's just the hashtag. It's that simple. So you chopped onions into it.
Yes.
Okay, so that's just
give it the aroma. You can
I like
see.
the way you always do it, just to give it the
aroma.
The aroma. Okay.
You know, when you are doing whatever you are doing, just make sure you are doing it right and you are standing out. Everybody has been doing this. There's nothing special, but your presentation and how you are doing it makes it to stand out. And whatever I want to do, I want to stand out.
Okay. I really like the way she does it. So we have to stand out in all we're doing. Yes. So while we're standing out, we're going to stand out with Titi and Susan Ajibade as they give us a quick talk on nutrition in the month of January. There's so much to learn. We'll be back.
Yes, there is so much to learn, especially with regards to our nutrition. Now, we know we all overate this season. We ate all the wrongest things, but we're going to be taking as much as possible every week the different classes of food and trying to break them down so that we can understand the nutritional values of each of the classes. Today we're starting with proteins.
Yes.
Welcome.
Very essential. Good morning, Titi.
Yes, so essential you said.
Yes.
In what sense?
Because they are the major building part of our body system.
Okay.
You know, like we all learned in elementary, you know, when we're learning about all the classes of foods, it is made to known that protein helps to build virtually all your body system. And that is why it is highly recommended for children that they, you know, feed more on protein, so it can help them develop their brains, their eyes, their skins, their body. Protein is responsible for building of your body system.
Okay.
So, and there are a lot of foods that are proteinous and people do not even know. So I recommend that whatever food you're eating, endeavor to know the class of food that it is.
Okay.
And most food don't only have one classes of food. Some food have both carbohydrate and protein and all. And some are high in protein, some are high in carbohydrate. But today we'll be discussing major foods that are high in protein. Yes.
All right, so right here we have what we all know as beans. Ewa. So is this a special type of beans, or is just
no? It's
local
just a
beans?
regular type of beans that is called oloyin. But I was actually looking out of particular beans. We used to have it back then in Akure. You know, that's the major beans type of beans. The black eye pea.
The black eye beans.
Yes, the white and the black. You know, that bean is very special. But Lagos, there is, but it's very, very, very scarce. You see people feeding on the regular oloyin and the other types. Yeah.
Okay, so this is high in protein. Is it the highest?
No,
in
yes,
protein?
beans is not totally.
Okay.
The amino acid in soybeans is higher. I think it has at least about 9 amino acid, but it's higher in soybeans than beans.
Regular
But
beans.
out of the what we have here, the chicken breast, the Greek yogurt, the egg, beans seems to be the highest.
Okay.
number
So
of
how many
protein.
portions of beans would you recommend for, let's say, an adult, and how many portions, maybe a week, would you recommend?
You know, some people would say if you want to grow tall, you should eat a lot of beans. But if that was working, I would have been
a lot taller.
A lot taller, because I tried. I'm not really a fan of beans, but when I heard that it makes people grow tall, then I started feeding on it, but it didn't work. But then to recommend, I'll take as much as you feel you can take.
Okay.
So at least maybe like 2 servings, 2 portions for an adult that is. But there's some people that are so big on beans, it's their major food, so they can take it as many times as they want. Just
there's
take,
no restrictions.
no restriction to what you can eat.
All right.
But when you feel,
we also have chicken here.
Yeah, chicken breast.
Chicken breast.
Yes.
Specifically the breast there?
Yes.
Okay.
It is said to be the most healthy part of the chicken without the skin, and it has low calories compared to other type of chicken, thereby making the protein level higher. Okay. So, and it's responsible for building muscles, especially those that want to work out, build their body structure and all. You might want to probably add some chicken breast to your meal, your diet, maybe on your salad or something. Okay. It's very good. Chicken breast is a very good source of protein.
We also have egg here.
Egg, very popular.
Okay.
Very popular, and kids are very good with egg, but what most people don't know, or most people do know, is that the highest protein level is actually achieved in the egg white, not from the yolk. So if you're trying to get maximum protein from your egg, then you should take out the yolk and just and just make use of the egg white. It's more proteinous in there than the whole egg itself.
So most of the bakers, when the bakers remove the yolk, that means they're making their cakes healthier.
I wouldn't say specifically, because healthier, of course, that is correct, but then it might be some kind of firmness they're trying to achieve. This baker, they could come up with some, but thinking in that line that they're trying to make their cake healthier, it's a good one. But they might try to be achieving something else. All
right, so there's something in a container here.
Yes.
Can I open it? I can?
Yes, please.
Okay, so what is this?
It is Greek yogurt.
Okay, so what's Greek yogurt? Just explain Greek yogurt.
Okay, Greek yogurts, we all know Greek yogurt, but Greek yogurt is the strained type of yogurt. When you make your yogurt, it's not naturally Greek, but there's a process that you take your yogurt through, that is through the process of straining. That means you're extracting the natural sugar that comes from the milk that is being made for. It's being strained out, thereby making it more healthy and more nutritious and enhancing the protein level of the yogurt.
Okay, all right. So once you strain out all those other things,
yes,
are you straining out fat as well?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course, you're straining out the fat, you're straining out all. That is why it is recommended that if you want to take a healthy yogurt, go for the Greek yogurt. And that is why it is more expensive, because the more you strain, the more thick it becomes, and you know, it's the quantity reduced.
All right.
So
these are basically 4 food items that you could add to your diet,
of course,
to add more protein to it.
Yes.
So is there anything like excess protein? You know, is there too much protein?
Too much, you know, there's this saying that I always believe that you should be moderate, you know, you should be moderate in your, basically, let me put it this way. Be balanced. Let your meal be balanced. Balanced diet. You can't say you want to totally live on protein or either say totally live on carbohydrate. But one thing is that you cannot do without protein. That's why you don't have saying like low protein. There could be low carb or low fat, but not low protein.
diet.
It's very...
All right then. Thank you once again,
Thank
Susan.
you, Titi. Always glad to be here.
Thanks for your contribution. Now, when it comes to nutritional values, we're going to be going over this at the beginning of this year so that we can, you know, get focused on our nutrition for the rest of the year. We're going to be taking a quick break, but Wake Up Nigeria continues.
Welcome to the final lap of the show. Now, if you're just tuning in, where have you been? Are you just waking up?
Good question. Now, even if you're just joining us, don't worry. We still have about 45 minutes of undiluted infotainment just for you.
Infotainment. And if you have been with us since 6 a.m., well done. 2 hours sitting in front of your TV screen, though.
Wow.
Beginning of the year.
Wow.
I'm just saying, well, my name is Yomi Owope.
We had something really interesting to watch.
Yeah.
And most people would have carried us along with them on their mobile devices as well. So they've been watching us.
Exactly. So if you're stuck on traffic on Terminal Bridge, well done. You know, tweet at us. Let us know what you're up to. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
My name is Titilayo Oyinson.
And I'm Yomi Owope.
Go online as soon as you can if you need to move around. Like Yomi said, don't sit in one place. Let us stream with you.
Yeah, exactly.
You can stream with us on tvcentertainment.tv and, of course, Facebook at TVC Connect.
Yeah, so send in those comments. Let us know. And, of course, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and we're on Twitter as well. And we will likely see it and probably like it, retweet, or repost or something.
There are quite a lot of things to retweet and repost these
Yeah.
days, I have to say. Now, our app is available for you to download on Android and iOS. That's how other people are watching it. You know, people that need to move around are watching it from their mobile devices. And some that travel tell us about their travels as well on our app. So, hey, you need it.
So, yeah, so we're going deeper. Marriage counselor Olabisi Folari is going to be here talking about leveraging intentionally on love languages to enrich your marriage.
Yes, sir.
And your relationship.
Love languages. Very interesting. And of course, we have an opera singer also in the building.
Oh, okay. So,
he's going to be right here in the studio very, very soon. His name is TK. And has her life hacks.
Yes, people.
Oh, we have life hacks.
Are back.
Yes.
Oh,
so
goodness,
today,
we missed them.
Yomi doesn't like my life hacks.
Come on.
I actually wear your life hacks.
Why would
because
you
I
say
forced you to wear my life hacks. One of those
Like I wore, like, what's that thing? A kimono. What they call that thing?
Yeah,
It
that
wasn't a
kimono was really nice.
It was, what was that? That,
Yeah,
that,
what?
Yeah,
It was
like
that thing, that Mexican,
Yeah.
like I wore it on the air. Like I wore it for the
It
rest
was
of
a
the show.
poncho. It was a
Yeah, it was a
poncho.
poncho.
Oh, yeah,
Poncho.
exactly.
Yes. She made a poncho right here.
And I wore it.
Using denim jeans.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Yomi.
so we're going to be seeing a lot of my life hacks. By God's grace, they're back. And today I'm actually going to be teaching on how to, well, just stick around. Let's not let the cat out of the bag.
Okay, all right. I used to think about it. So because of I used to go online and actually search out life hacks, new ones, and like, that's like, So it just gave me a new perspective on things you can use, things around the house to do. Yeah.
Because it actually helps you to be handy. You know, it's not all the time you have to go, you know, sometimes some of these things are expensive. So just be creative, you know, allow your imaginations run wild when you're, you know, creating. For example, you know how to make candles.
Yes, I do.
But you could actually make your own candles. So a lot of these life hacks or tutorials, or, you know, there's so much you can find online. On YouTube, Google, there's just so much information. So much information.
So I can't wait for the one you're doing today.
So looking forward to life hacks as we get ready to go to the news.
Oh, is it time already? Oh.
Yeah, well, I think it is.
I was gonna say I really like the brooch you're wearing. Is it like a dragonfly, or is it like, what is that?
A butterfly.
It's like a butterfly.
It's so cute though.
Because I sell them.
You do?
Yes.
Really?
Oh God.
Oh wow.
I'm a hardworking youth, guys.
Hardworking youth.
Oh my goodness. All right, so I might be buying one if you are selling it. Yeah.
So you sell it on your page, or
on my business page for you?
You have a business page.
I have a business page. I've even registered my business. A 27-year-old hardworking youth.
Wow.
Does everybody have a business page?
Wow, she went there.
Okay, I have a business page. I know you do. Do you?
I don't have a business page.
I don't have a business page, but you know.
Let's head over to the news, though. Ibrahim, do you have a business page?
I think I do, but I'm not sure whether it's running. The army repelled an attack by Boko Haram insurgents on the convoy of the theater commander of Operation Lafia Dole, Major General Olusegun Adeniyi. The incident occurred when Major General Adeniyi was on his way back to Maiduguri after a visit to troops recently deployed to Jakana to strengthen security in the area. Insurgents bombarded the soldiers with heavy fire, but they were able to subdue them and continue their trip, returning safely to the headquarters of the command. 2 soldiers were wounded and are receiving treatment at a military medical facility and responding positively. The vehicle of the theater commandant was also badly damaged during the encounter. Meanwhile, the army has promised to investigate the allegation of extortion of commuters by its personnel in Borno State. In a statement, media coordinator of Army Operations, Aminu Iliasu, says the army, as a professional and disciplined institution, views such allegations seriously, particularly coming from the governor. He assures residents of Borno State and indeed the nation that any allegations of misconduct against its troops will be investigated and culprits will be dealt with accordingly. He adds that such outburst is capable of reversing the gains recorded so far in the ongoing fight against insurgents and other criminal elements across the nation. At least 2 air bases housing U.S. troops in Iraq have been hit by more than a dozen ballistic missiles, according to the U.S. Department of Defense. Iranian State TV says the attack is a retaliation after the country's top commander, Qasem Soleimani, was killed in a drone attack in Baghdad on the orders of U.S. President Donald Trump. It is unclear if there have been any casualties. The attacks took place hours after the burial of Soleimani. The U.S. says it is monitoring the situation closely and consulting with its national security team. Iran has issued a warning to all American allies who gave their bases to U.S. Army that any territory that is the starting point of aggressive acts against Iran will be targeted. Iran Foreign Minister Javad Zarif issued a statement on Twitter claiming the attack was self-defense and denied seeking to escalate the situation into war. And President Donald Trump tweeted shortly afterwards insisting all is well, while adding that they had not yet possessed possible casualties. The oil prices climbed sharply Tuesday after the Pentagon confirmed that Iran launched more than a dozen ballistic missiles against military bases in Iraq that house U.S. troops. Crude, which settled at $62.7 a barrel during regular trading early Tuesday, climbed as high as $65 $1.48 a barrel, jumping more than 4% by Tuesday evening. Investors are on high alert for any signs of clash between the United States and Iran that threatens oil supplies in the Middle East. Crude prices retreated earlier this week on hopes that energy supplies would be impacted by the tensions. A spike in oil prices could deal a blow to the world economy. The Boeing 737 plane carried 180 passengers and crew crashed shortly after takeoff from Imam Khomeini Airport in Tehran early on Wednesday. The Ukrainian Airline's plane crashed due to technical difficulties, according to the Iran's semi-official news agency. We'll bring you more details. And as the news this time on Wake Up Nigeria, sports news is here.
Welcome back. You're still on to Wake Up Nigeria. Guess what, people? I am back. Yes, on Life Hacks today, I'll be teaching you on how to revamp your shoes. Of course, we all know that a great pair of shoes don't come along every day. And when you find that beautiful combination of extreme comfort and amazing style, your heart skips a bit because they're either too pricey or you can't afford them. Well, today on Life Hacks, I'll be teaching you on how to revamp and add that stylish twist to your old shoe collection. And today I'll be starting with the bows. So, well, not many of us know how to make a bow, but they are so simple to make. And I have this piece of old fabric. It's actually a scarf, basically. And I've had these nude shoes for a really long time. And I thought, what other way can I accessorize my shoes and make them look different? So, well, I made this really cute bows, which, of course, I'm going to stick to my nude shoes. You see that? Gives it that beautiful twist. So, of course, today I'll be working with hairpins. So what I'm going to do basically is just attach this to, so of course, when working with this, you have to make use of a glue. So once you just glue this to your shoe, you already have this here. You see this? It adds that twist and stylish, different look basically to your shoe. Another thing I'll also be working with this morning are brooches. Yes, people, whoever thought that brooches could come in handy, or sorry, footy or fitty when it comes to your shoes. So what I'm going to do here is I've had these really old black shoes. We always have these black shoes stored up somewhere in our shoe closet. So what other way to accessorize it or add that twist to it basically is just attach this beautiful brooch. Well, they're very, very affordable brooches. You can find them like everywhere basically. So just attach them to your shoes here. So of course, like I said earlier, I'm going to be working with hairpins here. So what I'm going to do is just attach this on here. And what you can do is basically just, you could take off the pin and just glue it to your shoe. And you see, it gives it another look entirely. You see that? Nice. You could wear this to, you know, for a wedding ceremony and even to church on Sunday. Great. All right. So something else, another accessory you could use, of course, to accessorize your shoes are clip earrings. So there are these clip earrings like I've had. Our mothers used to have a lot of these clip earrings. What could you do with them? So I have these really flat shoes here. Because you don't have to. You can you don't always have to accessorize your heels. You could also work with flats as well. So what I'm going to do basically is just attach this clip earrings to your shoe. It gives it another look entirely. You see that? Very different, very simple, very nice. All right. So finally here, I have these really long earrings, and let's say I am going for a dinner date, and I've worn this shoe during the daytime at work, and at night I'm like, too boring, right, for nighttime. Just add this piece of jewelry to the back of your shoe here. You see that? It gives it another look entirely. Perfect for a dinner date with your little black dress, where you just take off your jacket and just, you know, you have your little black dress underneath that. So you're going to be working with a lot of glue, scissors, and yeah, basically that's when accessorizing or working with, you know, revamping your shoes. So quickly, okay, yes, so this is this final one I'll have to teach you here. So this is a piece of bangles that I've, always had. I'm not much of a bangle person, so I have this, stuck up, we all have bangles stuck up someplace, somewhere, somewhere in our drawers. So what you can do with this basically is, for example, if you're, you have one of those boring black shoes, what you could do is just wrap your bangles around your ankles. Imagine. Just wrap this around your ankles and then slip in your feet into your shoes. It gives it another look entirely. You need to try this out, people. It is beautiful. So imagine this on a little black dress. It just gives it that oomph. If I'm going to use in your Miss voice, gives it that oomph. All right, so that's all on life hacks for today. And this basically, is how to revamp your old shoes instead of just throwing them into the dump. And like I always say, please allow your imagination to run wild, but be cautious as well. Over to some relationship tips with Yomi and Miss Olabisi. Hello.
Thanks so much, Ememi. It looks like a lot of people are learning not to throw away their shoes just yet. This morning, Olabisi Folari, who is a certified relationship and marriage coach of almost 2 decades, is going to be talking to us about something really, really important. Now, her passion is to make singles make important and informed decisions about choices of marriage. And on the show today, she's going to be talking about leveraging intentionally on love languages to enrich your marriages, relationships, and whatever else you're involved in. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
For having me.
So this issue of love languages, I was saying earlier on the show that I think it's something that probably has been overflogged. I guess maybe because people don't fully understand it. And so they just jump into, oh, my love language is this, and without necessarily really understanding who themselves are. But I think maybe you should give us a bit of background on the love language.
Okay, I'll take it up from where you started, as it being overflogged. Well, maybe that's not correct, entirely true. If you are looking at it from the end of those of us that are into the family life space, you will know a lot of havoc has been wreaked just because people don't understand, like you said. It's not just something vague. Like love languages can be expressed, they can be spoken, and they can be received. So the whole essence of love language is to be able to effectively communicate love to your partner. So
it's about effectiveness and about communication as well.
Love, because there's a way you actually love your spouse, but you're not communicating that love. The person is not feeling it. You understand? You actually love them, but they're not feeling that you love them because you're not communicating it effectively. So that's what love languages seeks to do. Just like any other language. If I'm a Yoruba lady and I want to speak to an Hausa guy, for me to be able to effectively communicate to him, I have to learn that language, especially if that's all he knows. That's his primary language. So if I'm speaking Yoruba to an Hausa guy, I'm not communicating because that's not his language. Just like with language, there are dialects of love language. That's another thing a lot of people don't know. We just know the broad-based love language.
So I guess maybe that's where a lot of people are also coming from. So they just feel like, okay, let me shy away from this. But now that you're going deeper into it, I guess
okay, so maybe we should just talk about the 5 love languages. So we have acts of service, we have receiving of gifts, we have physical touch, we have quality time, and then affirmation. Words of affirmation. So let me just run through like words of affirmation. Words are a very, very powerful tool, not just in marriage, between any individuals. You can actually make or mar a person you're in a relationship with just by the words you speak. You know, scripture says something about that the power of life and death lies in the tongue. So there is a way you can build your spouse, you can wreck them just by the words you say. You understand? A spouse that is constantly being affirmed, you know, you're doing great, every of your milestones, you're celebrating it, there is a likelihood for that spouse to blossom right under you. Or whether, if you're doing the opposite, you're always saying there's nothing good about you. I mean, I just don't know you're useless, so you're useless. So words are so powerful. You can actually grow under the influence of right affirmation, or you wither. Your spouse can actually wither right before you. Now, talking about dialects, you have verbal compliments on the words of affirmation. That means, I mean, as simple as you look good this morning, that show, I mean, you were absolutely dope on that show. So many things, just compliment. He's wearing something. Some people actually crave for compliments. And so if you have a spouse that is big on compliments and you're not complimenting them and they're getting it outside, things like that are just how.
So there's then some deficit in that area.
Definitely.
So I hadn't heard this issue of dialects, because now this is like going deeper into so that we know all about the broad topics, you know. So you talk about affirmation, but now you're going deeper.
Yeah, under affirmation you have that.
So that's the verbal one. Is there any other
Yeah,
dialect?
they're humble words. So there's a difference between demanding and requesting. There's a way you can request something from your spouse and they don't feel offended. I mean, they just want to do it. And there's a way you demand, they just get ticked off. Like a spouse has been to work all day, comes back, you know you actually want that delicacy. It's better you go through the request route and not the demand. Oh, sweetheart, there's just this way you do that kokore. Honestly, I'm craving for it. I know you're tired. Could you please? I mean, you just know you're dope on it.
So like something that just demonstrates that you understand that.
Yes, as opposed to, you know what, I don't care. I don't care whether you're tired or not. Just get it done. I need it. I mean, the response will be totally different.
Yeah.
Okay,
and you probably would not be sweet.
Definitely.
So are there any other dialects that people need to pay attention to?
Well, for words of affirmation, those are the two: verbal compliments and humble words. So talking about quality time just actually means giving undivided attention. So you could be sitting with your spouse in the parlor and watching TV. That's not quality time. You want to narrow it down to quality time. You need to switch up that TV set, have a good conversation about how was your day, what happened, you know.
But
there's
people
no
don't do that much now.
No, they don't.
Too many distractions, electronics, phones.
Yeah, so that's why I
like
wanted to disagree a bit with the fact that it's been overflowed. It's not. It's just like you also said, they don't have a deeper understanding.
People don't have a deeper understanding.
Yeah, so that's not quality time. You're just, and then under quality time, we have dialects as well. You have togetherness, you have quality conversations, you have quality activities. Quality conversations has to do with the fact, now this is between the husband and the wife. Most times the woman comes and the way we women operate, what happened, the way the gate man spoke to you, carries along to the office. You come back, you're still cranky over that. But men like to live in boxes. So you come back, you're like, you see what, my boss was so this, that. Most time, a man is logical. He's already thinking, okay, next time you two, this is how you're doing it. That's not what she's asking for. She just wants empathy, sympathetic listening. So that's a quality conversation. Now, quality activities are things you enjoy doing together. The purpose of quality activities is not so much of the activities, but what you achieve with the activity. That's intimacy. Do you understand? So you're playing together. Let's say a father and his son playing. All right. It's not so much about the ball he's playing with his son, but the memories, the intimacy, the bonding
that you're getting from that.
So
these are some of the things that I feel like people need to be paying more attention to than just the broad topics and saying that, oh, I like receiving gifts. Like, you know, that's what your life is all about. We have to take a break now. I don't know whether we have time for even more after the break or. Okay, so we'll continue this some point next week, because I feel like we're really going into some deep areas that people need to learn from. But thank you so much for joining us on the show today. We'll be back after this break.
Welcome back. Now, Wake Up Nigeria is full of surprises, and we have a surprise guest here for you. Someone who has had the opportunity to even perform for the presidency. We have multilingual opera singer, someone who sings in both Italian, Spanish, and English. He's here with us today. His name is TK Classic. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Titi.
All right. So I have to ask about your voice. Let's hear how TK Classic warms his voice in the morning. How do you do that?
Well, he warms his voice pretty much all the time.
Okay.
You know, he's having a shower, he's singing,
okay.
He's eating, sometimes he's singing, you know, and he's moving around the house, he's singing, and that's how it goes pretty much.
Did someone discover you, or how did you find your voice?
Well, I actually started off in an interdenominational concert choir, and it's been a long time coming. But somehow I delved into music professionally because I had so much passion for it. It's what I wanted to do. So it was just little steps. And at some point, yes, someone actually discovered me and took it upon himself to expose me to the corporate sector and a few of his friends. And then it caused a ripple effect from there.
Okay.
And the career kicked off.
Did you ever have, that fear of going into classical music and not making it? There's a lot of pressure in that.
Yes, there is. There is still a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And yes, when I started off, or when I made the decision to do opera, I was scared because it wasn't still isn't so much of what is common in Nigeria. It's not mainstream music. So how do you get into something that you're not even sure of? But what drove me was the passion that I had for it, and at the time, I really didn't care if I was going to make money or be. I was happy with it at the time, and that was all I just wanted.
Okay, so multilingual. How did you begin to learn the other languages that you were singing in?
So, classical music, opera, basically is a thing that originated, I would say, from Europe. So Italy, Spain, these are people who it's like their tradition. So for me to really get into classical music, I had to do it in these languages. Okay. So I had to start learning my music and classical music generally in these languages, not just in singing, but also in being able to have right diction, how to pronounce the right words in singing and all. Yeah, so
it feels like it's been a journey, but it's a journey where, especially with Wake Up Nigeria, you will never walk alone.
You will never walk alone.
Now, if you
on through the wind, walk on through the rain, for your dreams be.
Way to end the show, guys. That was amazing.
Really good, really good.
Wow.
Even when sound of music.
Yeah, like
music again.
the energy behind it.
Yeah.
So we are attempting to try to sound
Really powerful.
No, but I remember the song, and there were a lot of football matches back in the day that, you'd hear that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll never walk alone. Who remembers which team has that slogan?
Oh, yes.
Who remembers the team? I don't want to say the team.
Why don't you want to say the team?
I don't know, I'm not a supporter.
Oh, okay. Okay, she's not a Liverpool supporter.
Oh, you had to just say it.
So back to the kitchen. So we have our plantain and crisp egg with veggies plated with kuli kuli by our chef. Shebotimo. Shebotimo, yes.
Yeah.
So please could you quickly run us through while we give our guests?
Yes. We have plantain, kuli kuli, our sauce with garnish with veggies, and we have our onions.
Very nicely done. Very nicely done. Very nicely done.
Kuli kuli she made herself.
Super tongue, crunchy kuli kuli.
Yes.
Yeah. So, that crunch.
That's brand name.
So
Super Tongue.
Okay, Super Tongue. Super
Yeah,
Tongue.
that's my brand name. Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice, very
You can
nice,
follow
very
me
nice.
on Instagram, Super Tongue Concept.
So what do you
feel?
I like the veggie feel.
The veggie feel.
Thank you.
All right.
Well done, well done.
Usual.
Well done, chef.
But you have to taste the kuli kuli. You have to crunch
You have
that
to
kuli
crunch
kuli.
it.
You just have to. That sound, you have to hear it.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
That one.
Go ahead.
Are there people whose love language is food? Like
Mine is.
Oh, wow. How many love languages do you have?
I think my love language is...
Amen. Oh my God.
Never has all the love languages.
But really,
And,
I
yeah.
think our love language on Wake Up Nigeria is serving you every
Oh
morning.
yeah.
Yes.
Serving up
We
some
love to
goodies.
serve you.
Yeah, very nice. A big thank you to our friends at Homely NG for serving up
Yes.
our kitchen accessories every single day on the show.
Yeah, and we'll be back bright and early, as always, at 6 a.m. from tomorrow morning.
Yeah, your view is next. The ladies are standing by for us. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.